Hello, everyone, and welcome to a back and forth. Actually, it's not a back and forth with Jamie and
Mm,
Gerald. It's really a laugh and learn. It's a creativity conversation
we'll take both
about
times.
sacred play. So, and and today I'm joined by Donna, Artist and Oracles, Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, and Medium Betsy Palmer. I'm your host, TarotStache. Thank you very much for joining us. Please remember to like and subscribe. It's free. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make any decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance.
Really.
Really.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Don't
so
forget Donna.
Really?
there you go. Oh my God, this is great. Uh,
Oh,
um, Thank you all for being here. This has been one of those things. This is an idea that hashtag I blame Donna, Artist and
mm,
Oracles, hashtag not really.
mhm.
Because during our last show, our back and forth with Jamie and Gerald, Foolish Behavior Part 3, we were being very playful. And Donna's like going, oh, sacred play. And it's like, guess what did Gerald do? Gerald got his little notebook out and wrote
Mhm,
that down and said, sacred play, that sounds great.
mhm.
And here we are. So it's lovely. So Jamie, how are
Hi,
you?
Peachy. I am, as Betsy would say, over caffeinated, and I'm okay with it.
You are a responsible adult. You
Not
do
hardly.
you. Okay.
Ah. Hmm.
So Betsy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, and I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. And Betsy, you've been spending a lot of time in the water
Mm,
with your
yes,
crew.
I
And
have indeed.
so I love that. Donna, Artist and Oracles. What have you been doing? What's up? How are you?
Well, I'm pretty good. I was peachy right before we went on, and then it got so warm in the backstage green room. I had to strip off a peach top layer. So now I'm plummy. I'm kind of plummy. I'm
You're
good.
enjoying the energy coming at you.
A
Whoa.
lot of energy, a lot of good vibes, a lot of
Mhm.
playful chat.
Yes. Yes. I am doing well. I just finished up a show with Timmy Raven talking about duality in the tarot, the major arcana. Great show. We've got a second one scheduled. I think we may need a third one because it's such an interesting concept. So I'm looking forward to that. And tomorrow, Linda De Gonzalez and I are doing a Tarot the Stash Way where we're talking about learning decks. Learning decks. Stay tuned to that.
Hmm.
And speaking of the best chatters, the best lurkers, the work lurkers, and the future lurkers, we have, mods, watch for this one. We have that tarot stash there.
He's naughty. He's a naughty, 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 naughty man.
Naughty, 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 especially because he is not over caffeinated, but he has been caffeinated. Debbie is here, Grandmama, Linda De Gonzalez, Garnet, and Maru.
I have to tell you something. Maru, I'm reading a book and I about fell out of my chair because the one of the characters has your name. And I've never ever seen your name before.
Wow.
We connected like a gazillion years ago and I was like, oh, look at that. She shows up in everyday life. I like it.
You do
Anyway.
realize you have to tell us the book title.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like it's secret.
No.
It's top secret.
No.
Top
It's
secret.
Jamie Brain, and I read on electronic, and the titles go
Poof.
anymore if I don't have a physical copy, and I'm unable to read with physical copies, most generally, unless they're like reference.
And speaking of Timmy Raven,
hello, Timmy.
There he is. So it's great to see you. So in this creativity conversation, we're discussing the topic of sacred play. And Witchy Gardens is here. Oh, and look, there you go. Donna from Artist and Oracles got their YouTube channel posted there. Thank you. And so I'm going to give a definition of sacred play. And it's play that is considered holy, set apart, or dedicated to a spiritual purpose.
Mhm.
And it can involve a lot of different activities. One key thing is that it's playful, yet it's imbued with a sense of reverence, ritual, or connection to the divine. Therein lies an important factor. In all of the creativity conversations that I've been fortunate enough to host, is creativity is, this is why we're here. We're supposed to be creative.
Mm.
We are the divine is creative. We are supposed to be creative. When we are creative in whatever way works for us, we are singing praises of the divine, and we are singing praises for ourselves.
I think a lot of times, Gerald, Donna, and Betsy, in my personal opinion, a lot of people get caught up on not everyone, a lot of people in general get caught up on the divine thing, and it turns into a secular Christian kind of vibe thing, and that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, no. I mean, when I look back at a lot of the things that I did going to church, there was a lot of sacred play that was going on, but I didn't realize that that's what it was. So I want to pause here and ask everybody, what do you think about that definition of play?
Oh, everyone meaning us here or in the chat?
Oh, yes.
Or both?
Yes. Do you want me to call on you first, Donna?
You may call on me first.
Donna.
Well, I love that definition of play, of sacred play. I'm also looking at my own personal definition in my book here, which was more of a generic definition of play in the context of making collage. But the overarching, there was lots of spirituality woven into the book everywhere. So mine's a little more generic. I start out by saying to play is to amuse or exercise for recreation. So I'm just starting from a place of reminding grown-ass adults who we just kind of forget. We just think, well, play is for children. Play is how children learn. No. But play can simply just be to amuse ourselves, just for fun. Then the second part of that is to let go and to entertain oneself spontaneously. So to step into this whole idea of to just be in the flow, to do something completely unplanned, spontaneous. And then my third part of my definition is to interact lightly with all of life, which I really love that one.
Oh,
so a reminder that we are constantly, if we allow ourselves, we are playing. There's an interaction on all levels. It could be your fur babies, your plant babies, just the mineral kingdom for those of us who love crystals. So different way, a little different flavor to think about.
I love that. Betsy, what do you think of, what is your definition of sacred play? Or what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't have a definition prepared, but my thoughts are this. My mind immediately went to, as Donna touched on, the innate ability of children to play and entertain themselves. And it reminds me of children coming into the world that have memories of other existences and other places, and that it doesn't seem like these things are completely separate from one another to me. It seems like children remembering their divinity on certain levels and their ability to play and to be involved with themselves in an expression like that. To me, that is a divine connection, and it is bringing that divinity to earth. And I also think about how as we're moving along in life and we're all of a sudden being expected to color within the lines, how our definition of play changes if we can't do it perfectly, just like art.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. I like
Mm-hmm.
that. Jamie, what thoughts do you have on sacred play or a definition?
Well, it's interesting because I when I say this, it's not meant in disrespect to anybody here or to you guys that do have a definition, okay? Because that's really rad. My brain doesn't work that way when it comes to all of this stuff, because all of it changes every day for me. This room is where most of the sacred play happens. Some of it happens out there in the back 40, but most of it happens in here, and it's quite amusing and everything else. The things that will disappear when I want them and I'm forced to do something else and to find that playfulness that this space has, because it is haunted and it has a mind of its own, and whether you want to believe it or not. I know you guys do, but so my sacred play is always evolving in that, like, I'm going to try and hold this up. So, like, remember we talked about the Bible and all the bibliomancy and all the things, but when I start out in trying to either offer advice to a friend or whatever that asks in a divination sense, I start with like charms. I mean, what better play than there is, like, pick up sticks and jacks, right? So that's kind of how I look at my charms. And then there's silly little playing cards, because I like reading playing cards. And so something with a silly picture that gives you a serious answer yet has a sense of play and lightness. We had talked backstage about decks, possible decks. Not that that was what this was about, but one of the decks that actually gets me to that playful space is, Henry's deck. Why does it always? It's sitting right there.
Radical abundance.
Radical abundance, because it's serious yet very wholesome, if you will. And then I have my Winnie the Pooh deck, which also does the same thing in that I can find that balance with it in this room with serious yet fun, sweet and inviting, and it's making me sweat and my cheeks are turning pink, so you know that I got something. Anyway, that is all I have when it comes to a definition, in that in this space, it's always evolving. I, generally speaking, never do anything out of this space unless I'm in my office at the clinic and I'm doing something because of the building and it's misbehaving.
I love it. And it's misbehaving.
Yes, it's been misbehaving.
Yes. I love these ideas of sacred play beyond this, big picture thing. Sacred play is something that excites me, makes my heart beat faster. It's this sense of wonder that comes with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden what I've been working on, or anytime I've done magic, suddenly it just elevates it to a different level,
Mhm.
because there's an extra sense of joy associated with it. And lo and behold, I can be very, very serious. Everybody here knows that. And sometimes I need somebody, and all of you have said it at one time or another, just lighten up, Gerald. This isn't, I mean, this is supposed to be fun.
Hmm.
And I need that, because if I get too up here,
Mhm.
I'm not connected to here. I think this is where sacred play for me really resonates, because it opens up and it clears and there's connection.
Yeah.
It's an emotional thing. So
you feel it in your heart chakra area.
I feel it in my heart chakra area. I also feel it, I'll be very honest with you, I feel it in my root chakra and my sacral,
Me
because
too.
it's
That's what I was going to say. For me,
a
it's low
primal,
down.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
primal thing.
Mhm.
So
And it's very sensual for me. Like when play is really fun and flowing, it's very sensual. Whether
it's
it's not usually a sexual thing, it's usually with friends or colleagues, but there is a sensuality to it when you really
Yeah.
surrender to it.
A
Yeah.
Which
yumminess.
is
Yeah.
a real yumminess, which is why I think
Mhm.
adults, we tend to get a little afraid of it.
Mhm.
Right? Because it can just feel so good and so fun. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know. Is this bad? Is this taboo? Like, because we're flowing from those lower centers, like we're supposed to be
yeah.
when we're really grounded and connected.
Mm-hmm. Ronnie Y is here. Pamela is here. Jonathan's here. Mangled Unicorn has joined us. I've started a couple of things because Linda has asked, is singing and dancing what you are talking about? Because that's sacred
Sure.
play to me.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially if we're doing drumming relates to our heartbeat, which is the first sound that we hear in utero. That always gets us going. I mean, so yeah. Well, it always can get me going. Pamela said, sacred play often becomes a hide and seek for me, finding those voices I cherish. Pamela, I have to say, the fact that you use the term hide and seek,
Mhm.
adjust what you're trying to do. You're playing, you're going out and having fun. Well, are you over here? Are you over here? Are you over here? Can I find you? Are you over there? Go ahead, Betsy. You're muted.
I know, because the landscapers are here, of course. First time I've been on a live chat in months. So anyway,
Always.
no, it just, the fact that Gerald caught hide and seek. I mean, that's like one of the first games you play with other kids outdoors or even indoors, right? It's hide and seek. That's genius. Love it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Marco.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and have you all heard? Do you know where people go if they are hurt in a peekaboo accident?
No. Where?
The ICU.
Ah. Ow. Ow.
Oh
Come
my
on.
gosh.
Dad, did you like that one? I bet my dad loved that. He loved
There
it.
you go.
I have a friend that lives here part time. He's sometimes here, sometimes not. And when he's here, we go to a river and we play with rocks. He's 5 years older than me. He's 70, and we skip rocks and we try and throw them and get them to land in particular places on boulders in the middle of the river. And within 10 minutes, we are laughing uncontrollably. Just feet in the water, hands in the water, and it is just such a moment of losing track of everything else. There's nothing else in the world exists except that moment.
Mm-hmm. Which I love that, because there is the sacredness in being in the moment, and that it happened because of play. I think it elevates it, it changes it. So, Maru said, play becomes competition as we get older. It's not for the fun of it, yes. And Tim shared, I think physical competitions like sports are primal animal play, intellectual creativity in all its forms are sacred play, perhaps. That's an interesting concept. I think.
Can I just make a little remark about Maru's previous comment there?
Mhm.
I think that is so true, and that's a whole topic in amongst itself. That I think it's another pitfall of play for
Yeah.
adults. We could do a whole
Yeah.
other follow-up show on that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I think this is it goes back to that idea is maybe we come into the world playing, and it's a natural part of what we do. And as we have intellect, we can use it, because these amazing inventors, these famous people, healers, if they didn't play with herbs and stuff like that, we wouldn't have some of the help that we do have. So I think that's really, really incredible. And Maru said, my kawaii and tasty tarot are my most playful decks. So, yeah, Jacqueline said, I mean, rocks are cool AF. So, and so yeah, I'm a lifelong rock hound. I'm always searching for what's hidden. Yeah. So, but yeah. And by the way, Donna, you were reading out of a book. What book was that?
This just happens
Currently
to
out of
be-
print.
Currently out of print. This is my book. This is my beloved baby, Collage Quest. And I have a little mini chapter in here titled Play. So it's a how-to do collage as a sacred practice. The subtitle is Ancient Roots of Paper Co-Creations. And it's fun. It's a fun book, I must say. It's divided into 3 main sections. The first section is all about color. Then the second section is all about ceremonies, working in a ceremonial way when you collage. And the third section is all about dreams.
Nice.
The 3 kinds of dreams: waking dreams, sleeping dreams, and the tween time dreams.
Nice.
You better get that published again. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do. I need help with that. If anybody wants to help me get this back in print, let me know. I'm looking for a person to team with.
Yeah. So,
but playful, right? So any of our artistic, what do we want to say, modalities, right? At the base of them, this is what a lot of creative people really, you have to be playful all the time. You have to be like open to what comes your way. I think, as I have a theater background, so I look at it as really like kind of constant improv, right? Improv is the basis for a lot of how theater happens. Scripts get written, actors develop their characters, directors figure out how to direct. There's a lot of improv that happens. You have to be like in the moment, in the flow, and kind of say yes to what shows up. So
it's true.
That makes a lot of sense. Betsy, do you want to say something? Okay. I know the ground crews are there. So
No, sorry, it was another alert about the brush fire, but it's 93% contained, everybody. They'll be putting it out soon.
woohoo.
Yay.
Ooh. Okay, so Ronnie Y said, so is this why after playing and goofing around with kids or others, there's a feeling of lightheartedness and joy?
Sure.
The short answer is yes.
yes.
The long answer is absolutely yes.
Yes.
And I also love how, Donna, you had talked about artist in all art in all its modalities, when there is an element of play, it evolves quicker. There is an evolution to it. There is a deeper connection and a stronger understanding. I know when I am working with my fabric pieces for creating fabric landscapes, when I'm really playful, it moves faster and it's a much more impactful thing.
Fluid.
So how do you find that you get into that playful mode, Gerald, when you're doing, like when you're first designing a fabric piece? Like, do you have
Can I
a
answer that for
method?
him really fast just to be a smartass?
I was asking Gerald, Jamie.
I know.
Go ahead, Jamie. Go
I
ahead.
know. There's a reason, though. I swear. I promise. He's giddy with color.
See, it all goes back to color.
Yeah, he finds that joy, in my personal opinion, from observation. Anytime you get him with fabric and color and everything, he gets giddy. The catch is, which I think he learned on this last trip, is to just let himself go. Okay, I'm done now.
So what was it that I'm going to dive into this? What was it that how do you know I should just let go? What was it that you noticed?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Because your best ideas come when you're just screwing around and you're looking at colors and you're having fun and you are legitimately in the middle of sacred play. You are just having a good time looking at this way and that way and this way and not sticking to what other people call the norm. If you step outside of what other people are looking at your stuff, if you step outside of that, just squeak outside the norm, that's when you light up.
Isn't that all of us?
Yeah. But I mean, Donna was directing it towards, why, and this last trip was a big observation for me on that with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking, like, how do you slip into that mode? Like, what do you think? Because sometimes we know, sometimes we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have one little trick that just sort of gets us started. And then generally you just sort of surrender and it all gets kind of mystical and cool. And, you just hope you can reproduce it again in the future. But
sometimes I notice when I'm slipping into sacred play, or I don't often notice when I'm slipping out of sacred play. So Jamie sees all the colors. I get into the flow and I get very excited and ideas come really, really quickly. So for those of us who are spiritual or we're doing sacred things and we just get into that space where it's like, okay, where the noise is turned down and the connection is turned up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being at the club and being able to dance and really flowing with that. So for me, a lot of times it is music that will sometimes help. It's also it also is, Donna, for me, an opportunity to go, well, let's organize, because then I organize and then suddenly I sit something next to something else and those two pieces go, try us over there. What happens? Do that. And it's like, I remember in the coven when we were learning to cast circle, there were specific words to say, but then it's the intention that is important. So what happens when the intention overshadows the words? And there's a lot of opportunity and magic to be able to go, well, and just whatever comes out is the right thing. So it's a thoughtful question. So for me, oftentimes I do have a ritual of I actually have an apron that I wear. So an apron that I'm wearing, it's part of the ritual. It gets me
Costumes,
into that
very
space.
important.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's like people who jog, bless you. You know, I'm not one of them, but you put your socks on, your shoes on, the outfit, you're already getting in that way. When I do tarot or readings, I shuffle a certain way. The ritual matters. So,
It does. It does.
okay, lots of great content chat. So I want to get caught up on those. I think I already posted this. So is this why after playing? Yes, this is exactly why. Play is being in the flow. It's no wonder it raises our vibes. And oh, here you go. Play, love, remember purchased an engraving pen to write inspirational messages. For example, believe. Love that. Tim said, my favorite is playing with dogs. That seems to be my most childlike habit that I still indulge.
Nice.
And I bet the dogs love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, and Pamela said, I've taken the wrong rocks home only to have to take them back home. Mm-hmm. Good for you for paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
We should all strive to have childlike wonder when we do stuff, to really immerse ourselves in an activity. Yeah. I think laughter may be the key. Sad play isn't elevating.
Sad play.
Yeah.
There's another possible show title. Sacred play to sad play.
There you go. Just remembering back to playing with neighborhood kids brings back that absolute thrilling feeling. And isn't there science around this that remembering doing something, remembering an activity releases the same chemicals in your body?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're meditating and you think about doing something, it changes the vibration of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Ronnie says, I like to tell the littles in my classroom, there's no wrong way to art.
That's so great. Yeah. That's so great.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And by the way, all of you out there, there's no wrong way to art.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh,
everyone
yes.
Everyone is creative.
Even those that don't think they are.
Yeah. Play gives you a reason and an excuse to laugh uproariously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about uproaring laughter. So yeah, nothing kills play quicker than overthinking. Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a fun quote here about kids and play.
Please. Does it come from your book?
It's in my book, but it's not my quote.
Okay.
So it's a quote by Rice Freeman Zachary, a book called Living the Creative Life. Kids know what they need to do. They need to play because playing is learning what you love. Kids know what they need to do. They need to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also find that play, we do learn better when we're playing and we're having fun. I would say the same is especially true when we're doing sacred play. We can learn and we can incorporate some of those concepts a little more deeply when it's playful, or we're laughing, we're giggling, we're remembering something silly that we've done that exemplifies this life lesson. It's like, ooh, okay. So that idea of being, I don't know how to say this other than for me, sacred play, a big part of that is not taking myself so damn seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if anybody knows how to do that, please let me know. Please let me know. We'll package it, and there's a whole show. It's like solving a happy puzzle, arriving at where something fits, goes, belongs, and you just know, got it. That works. So fun. Mm-hmm. And smells can do that, bring up memories. Absolutely. Thrilling yet exhilarating. So if you play when you're sad, it makes you feel a little better bit by bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what's also beautiful about that, it does not discount the sadness. It helps to encase the sadness in safety so it can exist without being told that it's wrong or it shouldn't be. Instead, it's like, we got you. We got you. So, but, Linda's
that one actually is really important for me because I spend a lot of time twirling. And when I am doing something that requires focus, for me, most of my sacred play revolves in nature. So if I'm in the ocean, I always say a prayer when I say to the mother, place myself in your loving arms to do with me as you see fit. Allow me to serve you where I may, and I love you. And because when you're in the ocean, you're not in control. So you respond to what you encounter. And so it could be a friendly turtle that's really curious and wants to come up and give you a little look over. Could be an eel that pops up and says, hey, you're a little too close to my home. But you respond to the things around you. And for me, I'm able to completely disconnect from all my twirl and stay focused in that moment. So where Linda's point about it makes you feel better bit by bit. I can be completely transported, even if it's just only temporarily for the time that I am in the water. Man, that's good enough for me. And I think for me, that's one of the really important components about sacred play.
Mm-hmm.
To step out of the stuff and to be a part of something else, even for a little while. I mean, because if a turtle really wants to come up and give you a little look over, you feel pretty happy about that. You're like, well, my vibes must be not that far off that this turtle is curious wants to get close to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings me hope. It brings me release. And yeah, it just helps to kind of reset things for a bit.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I like that. Brina said, when I look at a piece of sheet music by the Beatles, I feel like they were just having fun. I actually think you're right. And they were also doing a lot of stuff that no one's ever done before. They shouldn't be doing it. I had a teacher in high school who was a Beatles fanatic, capital A, capital F, capital A, capital N, who actually talked about how when they were creating music, they were putting pieces and parts into other things that they weren't supposed to go into to get these new sounds. And it's one of those things that it's like, so yeah, it's being playful. I like that. So, so yeah. There you go. Yes. Laughing since they call me play. Well, good. Yeah. So, okay. Wow. So we've talked a little bit about this, but I want to ask the clear question, and people in chat can share. Why is playfulness important to you? I will go first because I take myself far too seriously. I would be hunched over with all of my worries, and I overthink things, and I don't get stuff done. When I don't overthink it, I get more done. I have more fun.
Mhm.
I'm more productive when you know when I'm playful. So, who would like to go next, Jamie?
I feel like if I'm not playful, I don't hear. I don't hear. So I get taps back here, and then my cheeks turn colors. But I don't hear if I'm not willing to be a little silly. I have a friend who I hear her ancestors quite frequently, and she has a very interesting menagerie of cowboy culture, Western whiskey drinking folks um, who have great sense of humor out there in the ether. And they like to show pictures and poke at things that sometimes I have to look at Gerald and say, what the fuck does this mean? Translate these, because I was told to draw for her, but this makes no sense to me. What are we getting here? And then he'll say like a couple of words, and then it like all is like back here, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind, I'm fine. So I have to keep that lightness because my world is super duper serious outside of here. So serious that you guys would not recognize me whatsoever. So yeah, I have to have that. I can't even pretend that I can't. You know what I mean? That it's not a huge part of who I am, because with the stupid autoimmune diseases that I have, and then work and everything else has to be on that light side. Otherwise, you end up in a trench.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're trying to be creative, nothing will come.
Yeah. Donna, what do you think? Why is playfulness important to you?
Playfulness, it's just a big part of like who I am. I think because I really do, I identify first and foremost as an artist. I feel like it's just sort of my job. It's a big part of my job. Like why I'm here is to help people to play and lighten up, to help people reconnect with their own creative nature and give them permission to do that. So that's kind of first and foremost. Also, I don't feel well like you. I take myself too seriously, like Jamie, I can get hunkered down in my body and every little thing that's going on, and then I make it 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I know it's good for me physically to stay lighter and more playful. And then also, I just more and more, we were talking about this before we came on together. I just think this moment that we're in, this particular year on the planet, it's just so important. There's just so much heaviness and so much fear afoot. And so I kind of feel like an extra sense of, for those of us who still have the luxury to be light, to have time for play and creativity, it's one of the best things I can do for humanity and for the planet right now, is to keep fueling that, because there's so many other forces at play that want to drag us down a different stream. So I want to counteract that anytime I can, help people to stay light. And it's good for our nervous systems. We really need it right now.
Sure.
Yeah. Betsy, what do you think? Why is sacred playfulness important to you?
To me, it really comes down to balance. As above, so below, body, spirit. earth, wind, fire, and water, swords, wands, pence, cups, and just bear with me on this one because it's a little bit out there, but my guides are just screaming at me. Sex and the City was so successful because the 4 characters represented aspects that we all have, but what made it work was the balance of them together. So since we all know ourselves as the public person, the busy professional person, the person in relationship that cares for others, and our own self, we all have those aspects, and being only one of those too strongly is discombobulating for me, and even just between earth and spirit existence that I exist in, like Jamie, even if it's not 4 points, even if it's just 2 points, being too heavy in one or the other, it just doesn't work for me. So the playtime is a way for me to kind of balance those things in the center, because it does connect the physical to the divine for me. It does connect the body to the spirit for me, because when we're in that moment of bliss and joy, for me it just feels like my higher whatever, my being in the zone just keeps expanding, as long as that unbridled and spontaneous play comes, something that I'm not overthinking, over examining, I'm just in the moment doing. It's like really bringing heaven into the earth plane for me.
Nice. I like that.
Well said. Well said. We, of course, the best chatters are bringing stuff, and playfulness helps me step away from a lot of the adult things that overwhelm me. And yes, it lightens the mind and body. It's good to have fun and decompress. Yes. Problem is sometimes I don't realize that I need to decompress. Worries and concerns evaporate whilst playing deep in the moment. So healing. That's well said, Amanda. And this is my philosophy. In every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. You find the fun and snap. The job's a game. Kind of every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake.
A lark, a
Yep.
spring.
Yep.
Mary Poppins.
Yep. I love that. Pamela has shared playfulness is so important to me because it opens my heart and my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacqueline is a big subscriber to the middle way. Anything not done in moderation is bad, whether it's positive or negative. Find your middle. Yeah. So, okay. We're at 50 minutes already. Can you believe that?
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah. Does anyone have thoughts about the topic of sacred play that they would like to share? And on that note,
Well, I'm thinking about all the times I have been doing session work with people, and the guides are kind of bring up the topic of play. I remember one person in particular who said, well, what's next? I've done this, I've done that, I've done all these things here, and here I am in this beautiful island, and what? I don't know what, and what? And that was their whole message was, we brought you here to play. Why do you have to be the next biggest, brightest, bestest? Why do you have to be doing? Why do you have to achieve something? We brought you here to play. Removed from everything else, everywhere else, everyone else, to play. Yeah. it does seem pretty important to certain beings at certain times that aren't really walking around here. I think maybe as adults we dismiss the importance of play, how enriching it is. I think sometimes we forget, and I don't think the corporate weekend team building things quite nailed down the essence of it. So, so I think it is important to never forget that what play can do for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pamela says, so true, Betsy. Thank you. Jonathan shared sacred play as a form of alchemy for him. I can use it to transform the heavy stuff into artwork, or even just transform it so I can release it into the cosmos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I just add to what Betsy was saying? I mean, I do totally agree. Like, it's easy for us to get. We all tend to forget. But I think there's other forces at play too. Not to get too heavy duty here, but like there, life seems to be set up so that it's pretty heavy. It's pretty like, we have a lot to focus on, right? So I just try to keep that in mind too. Like it's because it could be one more reason to get down on myself. Oh, I'm not playing enough. I forget to play. Oh, I take myself too seriously. Well, it's a little bit heavy duty here on the planet right now. It's like just kind of tricky to like stay in the body and, stay safe and all these things. So it's just one of many things. And like even that we can play with. It's not my fault that I forget to play. There are many, many other reasons and forces at work for why I don't. And yet still I can, and still I do. And still I'm one of the most playful, fun people that I know, I have to say. So, we can be light with that too, But I hear you, but it's the same thing. Like I'm in this brand new life. I live in a different part of the world now. I changed countries, and I have that same sort of sense and whispers from my guidance of like, you love it there. We brought you there to have fun. Like lighten up. Don't be so worried about everything. And can be a little challenging.
Yeah. I think it can be very challenging. It's also realistic because we have things that we need to do that we don't want to do. And I forget to be playful. I forget to be sacred. That's part of why to dance.
To dance while you're doing the laundry or
dance while
I forget to, you know what I forget to do that would help me so much? I need to like make a public vow right now. Like to just put music on around the house. Like I used to play music around the house so much more when I was younger and sing. I'm a singer. Like I'm a longtime choral singer. I don't sing enough anymore. If I would just throw a CD in, I'm still old school. I got all my CD, like to just play music. I'm on YouTube all the time. So I'm always trying to keep up with TarotTube. I love TarotTube. But I need to have music in the background because it's really good for my playfulness, my lightness.
Yep.
Hey, Ann, I got something. I don't know who it's for. It maybe 2 or 3 people. I don't know who it is, but this has got to be said. That don't let some kind of survivor's guilt interfere with the necessity of play. Just because we're in a world where there's a lot of people in a lot of horrific and desperate situations, do not believe that play is still that you shouldn't play as a way to hold space for those people. That play can help balance, right? There's tragedies, and then there's the energy that play brings into the world in a balance, and it's equally important. But don't feel like just because you've got it pretty good doesn't mean that play is not still a worthy component of your life.
That's an important reminder. Thank you for that.
I don't know who that was for.
That's a biggie. Yeah. That's a real one for sure.
No, it's like
yeah. Jamie, were you going to say something?
Nope.
I want to say one of the great things about sacred play is we are evolving as spiritual beings. what worked for us as sacred play may not work for us now. And we need to be willing to play with what our sacred play looks like and the forms of it. I used to go out dancing for 6 hours. I'm not dancing for 6 hours now. So I have to remember that and to be able to go, well, what am I doing? What can I do? And so there's a great opportunity that I am doing this sacred play for me. And when I do it for me, everyone else benefits from it. I don't have to get up on a stage and, do a performance. But when I'm doing it for myself, there's a beautiful element of let's just realize that I'm different, and what made me giggle may not make me giggle now. And my relationship with sacredness has grown. Nothing wrong with that. It's supposed to. But, I can almost guarantee you a good fart will lighten everybody's mood. I mean, it will.
Yeah. And it's such a great point. Like, play does change just like the body changes as we age and grow. And
Yes.
yeah, for sure. And that's another thing we can easily forget because we are in this culture that's obsessed with youth, right? And it's like, no, things change. Like the body comes, it's here a short while, it's constantly breaking down. We fight it, but that is the inevitability for all of us. And it's both funny and terrifying and everything in between.
Yeah.
And so how do you play with that?
Yeah.
I think part of it is showing up and having the intention to play, whatever your definition of play, so long as it doesn't hurt anybody or infringe on somebody else's rights, great. And it's not at somebody else's expense, because I have got enough material just thinking about me to giggle. So yeah, the ripple effect of frequency. And you don't have to tell everybody, right now I'm doing sacred play.
What?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you. I'm doing sacred play right now. Please enjoy. Well, that changes it. Instead, just go out and do the sacred play, because those people who need to see it will see it, and they'll go, what's that person doing? Boy, that looks like fun.
Although it could be a great voicemail to change our voicemail. Hello, you've reached Donna. I'm not available now from 3 to 5 p.m. I am engaging in sacred play. Please leave a message and I'll call you back.
I dare you. I love that. So, well, thank you, everybody. We've been talking about the importance of sacred play. Sacred play, it can be extremely beneficial. Well, it is extremely beneficial. Just do it. Hi, Jacob. Sacred play connects us with the divine, lifts our vibration, lifts the vibrations of everyone else. And this is beautiful. Yeah, avert your gaze. So, all right. Links to all of our channels are below. Donna's website's there. And any last minute thoughts for people? Jamie, any deep thoughts?
Oh, I think my deep thoughts were at the beginning of the show.
And they were very good deep thoughts. So
Thanks.
I have to say thank you to everybody for bringing what you did. The best chatters brought it. Betsy, last words. These are not your last words, but last words for the video.
I feel pretty complete, guys. Thank you. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm. Donna?
I will just leave you with this little thought, this little tidbit. Life is a never-ending playdate, a co-creation between us and our guidance. Laugh all you want. It's true.
I love that.
Mhm.
I love that. Thank you, everyone. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.